High above the cobbled streets between Trastevere and the Vatican, a cloud of starlings swing back and forth like a black pendulum across the sky. The three Bavinskys are speed-walking from the studio towards the centre of Rome, with Natalie clasping Bear's arm and pulling Pinch to her other flank. She raises her husband's sleeve to read his scratched wristwatch. "Don't fret, Natty," he tells her. "Nothing but friends tonight." "Yes, your friends." When she was living here with Pinch alone, Natalie heard from nobody. Then Bear moved to Rome, and the invitations gushed in. He avoids soirees, but agreed for her sake. They'll be fellow artists, and she needs to circulate, to find collaborators for her own work. This is her night, promised and planned, minutes away. "They'll be bustin' to meet you," he insists. Natalie has spent 6 years in Rome, an astonishing stretch, given that there were days she scarcely endured, crumpling from isolation, especially after giving birth alone, a disastrous delivery that ruined her insides, meaning Pinch will be her only child. From the start she clung to him, yet was clueless about child-rearing, rescued by Italian neighbours, around whom she played the free-spirited Canadian lass, awaiting her famed American painter husband, even if she and Bear weren't technically married at the start. He turned up each summer, painting compulsively, Natalie sitting for him in the sweltering heat, their son dozing by the wall. At summer's end, she would pack his suitcase, bereft at the sight of Bear dragging himself back to New York again, where 3 daughters and a spouse wouldn't let go. All that is done now. He pledged to move here for good, and proved true to his word. As they hurry over Ponte Mazzini, Bear leans over, smushing their boy between, and kisses his young wife flush on the mouth, smearing her lipstick. "Listen to me, Rhubarb. I love you, and they will too." As long as his gaze holds, she believes it. They arrive at a palazzo overlooking the weary green Tiber, and Bear thumps on its vast doors with both fists, a syncopated jazz beat. The footman bursts forth, hurrying them in. Late, late, conveying the Bavinskys past a drizzling Renaissance fountain, up a marble staircase lined with ancient Roman statuary, into a ballroom of soaring ceilings frescoed with Mars and Venus in various stages of marital discord. At twin grand pianos, maestros in tailcoats tinkle Debussy, while scores of revellers chortle and slurp from champagne coupes, their cigarettes leaking grey ribbons into rococo murals and avant-garde artworks by Guttuso, De Chirico, Bury. In attendance are sculptors, writers and composers, Anglo women who married Italian nobility, gals from Wisconsin once, now Princess something, plus all the expat businessmen, the Procter & Gamble guy, the Aramco fella, the Coca-Cola man, alongside wives who, when their dearly beloved cracks a joke, either tilt forward uproariously or just sip a drink. "Well, he sure has your number, Joan." Natalie can pick out the artists from their outfits, baggy suits, scuffed shoes, while the socialites wear shiny silk numbers, yanking up long gloves and yanking along portly menfolk in 3-pieces, gold watch chains swinging. The groups can also be distinguished by topic of conversation. The moneyed all speak of art, the artists all speak of money. "Wait just a second," the middle-aged party hostess says. Squinting into pince-nez as though through peepholes, she sachets over, waving a clutch purse designed like a pink lobster and holding down a hat shaped like a high-heeled shoe. Mishmish Shapiro is an art collector of Californian provenance, who years before escaped a bout of ennui by hurling herself into the beauty of Rome, landing in the arms of Count Ugobaldo, a shabby aristocrat who paints surrealist landscapes and cries. If she has an ulterior motive, and Mishmish always keeps a few handy, for having pressed Bear to attend, it's to convince him to sell. She owns a couple of early Bavinskys, but he disavows those as juvenilia. His new paintings are the prize. They are truly something else, it's said, and diabolically hard to lay one's hands on. "I was scared half to death that your mob wouldn't make it," Mishmish says cheerily, clasping Bear's hand and touching Pinch on the head. "Oh, what an adorable scamp. You found him in some dark vicolo, did you?" She nods to a butler, who has been hovering, to add this ankle-biter to those already stashed in a distant nursery. Once the boy is dispatched, Mishmish appraises the big-boned young wife of Bear, from her shoe straps to her beret. "Well, you sure are a tall drink of water," Mish concludes. "Speaking of, who's thirsty?" "Oh, I would love a drink," Natalie answers. "Patience," Mish replies acidly. "You're not speaking to the barman." A flush rises up Natalie's chest. She apologizes, but is hardly heard. Guests keep noticing the celebrated painter in their midst and push closer. Among them an oak of a man, branches aloft. "Well, if it ain't big old Bear, how in the Sam Hill are you?" "Holy smoke, Rod, old man, what brings you to the Holy Roman Empire?" Natalie swipes 2 glasses off a waiter's tray and hands one to her husband, who clinks distractedly, the crystal ting vibrating till her lips meet the rim. She holds her nose above the liquid, hiding herself in its fizz. As the scrum jostles her, strangers converge around Bear. A wall of backs closes before her.